Hello, I'm going to teach you how to use the HFSS with the new clustering HPC cluster software, PBS Pro. First thing you have to do is make sure your project is not open. You cannot use the new system and have your project open at the same time. You must submit the project to it and then it will work. So first you click Simulation tab, then you click Scheduler. You have to go RMS Remote, the server. That's PBS head node.doe.carlton.ca, and your username. I'm using a test account called Marsha, which apparently I can't spell, and the password. Now you should be able to click refresh. Assuming everything's good to go, it should spew out the scheduler info. Or not. Huh, weird, just went behind. There it is. So assuming your username and password is correct and everything's good to go, you should have the scheduler name PBS, description PBS Pro, and the version 19.13. Okay, that's all you have to do in that tab. By far the more complicated one is the submit tab. Everything in here, unfortunately, a lot of things need to be edited. You need to edit your project path. You need to add where the tool is on the Unix side, not on the Windows side. It's under /CMC tools, AnsysHPC version. So this is 2019 R3, Ansys EM 19.5, which is equivalent to Linux 64, and Ansys ED. You can simulate on any version of Ansys. On the web page, you'll have all the various versions and product paths. Of course, you need your project path, which in your case would be BP filter for me, just a little test one. Your options, you have to map your Windows to your Unix path. So everybody's home directory, you can be on different ones. If you're undergrad, it's ugrad FSS, and if you're grad, it's like Gabon. Username Windows/Ansys, home Marsha. The best place to get that information from, I'll show you again, is if you take it from the project path, copy the whole thing, edit. Here, you just add that, and by removing the project. Now that's assuming you're only going to put all your projects in Ansys. Some people are different, they put it in different places. By far the most generic and safest thing to do is just to remove the extra directories, and then that is the root of your home directory on both the Windows and the Unix side, so the paths and projects will always line up. You also need to do your batch options, so you'll need to go up here, go HFSS, you need to edit the license type. Pack is wrong, it needs to be pool. And you also need to change your MPI vendor. Platform computing doesn't work either, and it needs to be converted to Intel. And click add, and then done. At this point, I highly recommend you click save settings as default, so you don't have to do all that again. And also, if you want, you can export the settings, so if you move between computers and whatnot, you don't have to do it all over again. Okay, so now we go scheduler options. You don't need to edit anything there. There are certain options you can do, advanced things if you want. You can talk to me if you need any reasons to do that. So compute resources, at this point, you have no resources requested. Unfortunately, the cluster right now is only a node. It'll eventually be up to, well, I don't know how many it'll be, but at least 10 or so. But for now, we're just going to do number of cores, and there are only 32 cores available, so you can use all of them if you wish, if the job's that large, or you can use 16 and leave some room for somebody else. 80% of the RAM, yet again, if you want to be polite, you can do 50, you can do 80, you can do 90, you get the idea. Hopefully in the future, as we have more and more nodes, you can use a maximum amount of memory, because another job will just despawn somewhere else. And at this point, you can click preview submission. You'll always get this error. Oh, number of nodes is out of range. Okay, what do we do here? No, it must not have liked that, because it's okay. The error isn't really relevant to ours. So quick preview, you'll always get this error, because since it's a Unix path and not a Windows path, basically Windows can't see it. I'm assuming everything's good to go. You should get this preview job, submit job results page. If it does, at this point, now you can submit your job. I had a lock because everything's screwed up, so now I'll just remove it. And same error as before, and I highly recommend you click begin monitoring this job now. Assuming everything's good to go, you should in a second or two, depending. The first time you launch HFSS on the system or any clone, it can take a while to config. Ansys has a fair number of things it needs to do on each box to make sure we're good to go. And that should clear up soon-ish, and there we go. And now we're simulating away. Very similar to the old one with a bit more information. You can watch it build a matrix, do all those things. You can abort the job if you have to. You can watch the phases, you get the idea. Lots of information there. Tells you where it's actually simulating. In this case, it's actually on Thor. And everything's good to go. Yeah, and then you can watch the convergence. Right now, I've already converted 4. You get the idea, maximum min, a nice plot. Wow, it's getting close. There we go. Okay, and that's it.